Can I ask you a question, Stacey?
Sure.
So beyond, we kind of got into the misconceptions that, get agents into trouble. What are we missing? What misconceptions are out there that we haven't touched on yet that agents should be aware of coming into the business?
So I have some advice for new agents coming into the business about misconceptions and also some more senior agents growing their business. For the new agents, I touched on it before, which is focus on the classes that are in the order that you need them and focus on executing at the same time. So what I mean is go to the lead generation classes, the prospecting classes. So the classes that are going to teach you how to do open houses, shadow veteran agents, the classes, when we can do open houses again, right? Door knocking, when we can do door knocking, events, anything that puts you in front of people or talking to people. And for now, I mean, obviously phone and text and social media, those are all great outlets. So go to any class that gets you to talk to people, and you don't have to be asking for business at every turn. And you're not bothering them when you're offering something and coming from contribution. And if you're not from this area, wherever you got your license, you actually might be in a better position because you have to develop the right habits to build your business. So, whatever thing you think is in your way, verbalize it. And I'm sure there's a veteran agent around there that can help you, guide you to answering that problem. Let's see, for agents that I see who are maybe a solo agent who are naturally, they have that natural hustle, they've survived their first 2 years, they're thriving, they're growing. You might hear them say, I have too many leads, I'm getting all these leads off my listings and I can't handle them, I really need help. Number one, they need to make sure that they're working with a conveyancer. At the very least, they need somebody who's handling all the deals that you have, and maybe they're working with other people. So you don't even have to have them on your staff, you just pay them by deal. The second thing is, once you've maxed out their help, you still might think that you should hire a buyer's agent. Yet the second hire, which I learned myself by doing and then learned in reading the MREA after my experience, was hire somebody on your own to max out your marketing capacity. Because chances are, if you're so busy, you are not as streamlined and as efficient as you could be. You might not have every client of yours and sphere person of yours on a birthday campaign or a home anniversary campaign. You might not regularly interact with your vendors and exchange referrals. So there's probably a lot of gaps in your current activities. You've just been naturally good, so you've been attracting referrals and getting clients. And now it's really time to tighten up that ship. Because the biggest mistake I see is when a great agent hires a buyer's agent before they have their own conveyancer and or staff person, is that they're expecting this new agent who doesn't know anything about anything to be able to close that lead. Even if you pre-qualified them, you send them out to go look at a property with them, they're not closing that lead in all statistical likelihood. Because number one, those leads are really hard to close, So you would be better to get off your plate all the marketing and administrative things that you can get off your plate so that you can enhance your skills, so you can apply your skills to those leads that are harder to convert that you're generating because of your activity. So another misconception, an agent might feel like, they're doing well, they want to grow even more, and rather than doubling down on what they're good at and what is making them the most profit, they actually might be tempted to buy leads. And notice I didn't go down in my inflection because I don't want you to buy leads. That's a dangerous magic pill, magical thinking concept. I look at it this way. So if I were to call 100 people that I know, statistically, most of them don't need my help. So I don't have the expectation that any one of them will want to do business at that given time. Yet I know I'm planting the seeds for the future. And if I talk to enough of them, if I talk to 100, I'm sure I'll find 5 or 10 people that might be moving or know somebody who's moving. There's going to compare the frustration level in that to somebody who's bought Zillow leads or other kinds of leads that convert at a 2 to 3% rate. You're going to have to talk to 100 of those leads who are also getting 10 contacts from other realtors. Oh my gosh, I'm just frustrated thinking about it, So if you think about your money and your skills, both require skills. And I tell you, it's a lot easier to talk to people and it's a lot more expensive and it takes a lot more skills to convert people you don't know. So if you're ever tempted to buy leads, which I would never advise, what you could do is look at your past 24 months of deals and look at all the money you earned from each source. So let's say let's say out of 2 years, you did 24 deals, let's say. So let's say 12 of them were Sphere. Let's say 6 of them were from open houses. And then the other 6 were maybe from a neighborhood organization that you went to a meeting, or, some other random organization. Then you want to figure out how much money did I spend on my open houses? And so compare that to the income that you earned on those 6 deals. And then how much money did I spend on my Sphere? Maybe note cards, events, things like that. And how much money did I return, I got on that? And I guarantee you, you will see thousands of times % return on those Sphere and referral, business than the cold sources. And that's okay, because we do need to have the cold sources, because we need to develop the skill of talking to people that don't yet trust us to convert them to business. By knowing how to talk to people you don't know and converting them, that'll help you weather the hard times. But you want to at least make sure that those cold sources yield, at least I've heard different standards, but 5 or 6, times the return of every dollar that you've spent. I don't know, do you have another standard for that?
No, I think that's probably about right, assuming that our database should be producing about 10% return. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So there were 2 years in a row that I had been doing this on my deals, and I realized, this networking organization I had been to or been a part of for maybe 7 years at that point was, it used to be that it was generating, 50% of my business, and then it was like 2%. It's like, what, it's time to let it go, because it's not only money, but it's also time, and then I had even invested back before Zillow. It was crazy saturated. I had invested in Zillow leads. And while I was making, somewhat of a return, I realized for me personally, it was just not worth the aggravation and the frustration. And the yield was like 2 times. So it just was like, if I just took that money, which was way more than I even invested in my Sphere, and just reinvested in my Sphere and my past clients, how much more fun would that be to have a party, or do something fun with my, existing people. So yeah, so as far as guidance for growing your business, make sure you hire the staff first, maximize your own efficiency and your own skills, and examine, your profit from each category before you go thinking of even buying any leads. And then for the new agent, just focus on prospecting first, focus on your intakes. So, your buyer consult, your seller consult, showings, listing properties, and contract negotiations. Those are the only 3 topics you need to be focusing on when you first start your business.
And I love that. It also can translate to a team too, right? So if you're doing those things that you mentioned that any agent should be doing and focused on, and then when they get to those points of having to hire a conveyancer or work with a conveyancer or work with a marketing person, that kind of leverage can be found on a team, but only if you really do what is required of you and your job first, will you know and understand exactly what it is that you need coming out of your first, whatever time period that is at the beginning of your career. Or for the agents who come in really prepared, they might know that right out of the gate. But we rarely see that today with new agents coming in and knowing exactly what they need right away, or what their job is, I guess, and then also what they need on top of that.